Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a new episode of Topic of the Week. In this week's episode, I'm gonna talk about how the SJWs has ranted and whined over Tifa Lockhart's breast size in the upcoming remake of Final Fantasy VII. Because in case if you haven't heard it yet, the SJWs wants to remove Tifa Lockhart's, big assets from the final production of the game. Which of course is pure nonsense in my opinion, considering the fact that Tifa Lockhart is just a fictional character after all. I'm also gonna talk about the fact that 5 mods from n4g.com has reported our article on the matter. Well, they did that just recently actually. I'm also gonna share my thoughts and honest opinions on busty female characters in video games. So let's get the show on the road, shall we? However, I'm going to start with our article about Tifa Lockhart since that's what got the ball rolling in the first place. In fact, it's the most popular article that we have made so far. Anyhow, as I was saying, I got just as excited and happy like everyone else when Sony announced a remake of Final Fantasy VII at their E3 press conference, as it was a dream come true for me and millions of other Final Fantasy fans worldwide. So far so good, right? Well, for sure, but then I started to hear the rants and whining from the social justice warriors, which would be on the 22nd of June to be exact, which of course was the very same day that I published the article about Tifa Lockhart and the Final Fantasy VII Remake. So what did the SJWs whine about then? Well, to be exact, they want to remove Tifa Lockhart's big breasts from the game. Why? Because they find them to be offensive and sexist. Well, I don't agree with that, but the SJWs have the right to think and express their own opinions and thoughts, and that's why I even wrote the article about this matter in the first place, as it was a response to their nonsense talk about Tifa Lockhart. Anyhow, I highly doubt that Square Enix will, bother all that much about the whining over Tifa Lockhart's big breast, since they got the hardcore Final Fantasy community to please, because money talks. So here comes the $1 million question. How comes that the social justice warrior never whine about male characters in games, as most male game characters look really great and, are buffed to the max? At least that's something that I would love to know. As for me, I have never ever been offended by any male characters, no matter if it's been an NPC character or a playable character. And why is that? Because I'm not an oversensitive crybaby like, the SJWs. And here's another thing, why are the SJWs so afraid of breasts? It's almost like they see boobs as lethal weapons or something like that. And speaking of breasts, there are 3 different female body types in Final Fantasy VII. And those are the following. Tifa Lockhart, who's busty, then you got Aris, who's normal, then you got Yuffie, who has a slim figure. And this of course made me wonder why the SJWs chose to target Tifa Lockhart. One could almost suspect that they are jealous of a video game character, or that they simply hate body diversity in games. Well, that's at least worth of a thought in my opinion, since I find the whole thing to be pretty goddamn hilarious. I also thought that most people knew that women comes in all sizes, colors and shapes, but that seems to be something that the SJWs has missed out on. And that's exactly what a female Reddit user tried to point out not so long ago in her post about busty women in games and in real life. Her name is Jackie62 by the way, so I'm just going to add her post to the video description box, as I found her comment to be very spot on. So please enjoy. This of course raises a lot of questions. For example, should game developers no longer be allowed to create busty female game characters simply because it might offend some people? And should busty women in real life be worried about offending people because they just happen to have big breasts? In my opinion, no and more no. But feel free to speculate on the matter and share your own thoughts and opinions on the topic in the comments section. Now it's time for a little censorship incident at n4g.com, because 5 mods reported our Final Fantasy VII article. Well, as you can see, 3 different mods just wrote out lame as the reason behind why they reported the article on n4g.com. So our Final Fantasy VII article about Tifa Lockhart got blocked from being published on their homepage. And that even though several users didn't even agree with the mods. I even actually had a conversation with quite a few of them. But it didn't really matter, since 4 out of 5 mods made sure that our Tifa Lockhart article didn't get published on N4G's homepage. Here's the funny thing though, N4G approved a similar article just recently, and the only significant difference would be that the article was about Chun-Li's bouncing breasts instead of Tifa Lockhart's busty chest in the Final Fantasy VII Remake. However, the N4G mods found the original picture of Chun-Li to be too offensive, so they changed it into a less offensive picture. I mean, cool, it's their site and it's their rules. I just find it strange that our article got the red light while the Chun-Li article got the green light. I mean, that's pure hypocrisy right there, ain't I right? So, yeah, I honestly thought that this was the end of the line really, but it wasn't, as one of the N4G mods had a sudden change of heart regarding our Tifa Lockhart article, and this was the actual PM conversation that went down between me and Custardly via n4g.com just recently, so please allow me to read it out for you guys. And this is what the first PM by Bunt Custardly said, and the subject is lame. TGG, your article you submitted would have been fine by me if you or the author would have simply focused on the potential look of Tifa in the upcoming remake. The fact that you have used the SJW headline as a bait makes it pretentious and pushing a feminist cast over an issue which frankly might not have been there, especially if Square decided to tune down Tifa's breast size like you have shown in your article, without input from any external influences. I think bringing in any kind of feminist into gaming, especially on N4G, isn't the right place for a sensible debate, and I have exercised my right to use the lame report, BC. And that was the end of the first PM, so I'm just gonna read the next one, which is from me. So here we go. Hi, thanks for getting back to me. I did that because that's where the issue was. I've talked to FF fans all day long, male and female, and they liked the article, they also agreed with me. And just like I wrote, if Square Enix wants to change Tifa's breast size to something smaller, so be it. I just pointed out the obvious, like the fact that there exists body diversity in real life, thus the cosplay pictures. If the headline is a problem, I could always change it, because I think it's really sad that people is missing out on a really good read. And here's the second answer by Bunt Custardly. Removed my report because you didn't get mad, but I can't vote for the other 4 and won't approve it as it's my choice, not for the reasons I've already stated. A shame though, as it's gotten some heat and as you say, the content is actually informative. Not sure how effective it would be if you edit now and change the SU slant, BC. And that was the end of the second answer by Bunt Custardly. It was actually his last answer, so this is gonna be my answer to his answer. So here we go. Hi again. Well, thank you, of course, as they got a will of their own, you know. For sure, that's what we try to do with all of our articles. At this point, not so much, I think. I have you know this though, a lot of young girls and women enjoyed the article when I posted it, since I'm all for body diversity in games. Sad enough, there's a lot of women who's insecure about their bodies nowadays, and removing busty female characters from games won't help the situation. In fact, it's making it worse. I actually talked to a lot of women about this yesterday. They feel like they're not welcome or represented in games anymore, as the SJWs have made many devs somewhat nervous when it comes to having busty female characters in their games. Because I think there's a huge difference between sexism and having a strong, beautiful and curvy female protagonist like Bayonetta, for example. Well, I tried my best, so thank you for your reply and your change of heart. Cheers, Robin Ek, TGG. And that was all there was to it. So I guess that this means that I just have to avoid posting politically incorrect articles at n4g.com, since the mods will just end up reporting them anyhow. I still think it's rather sad that they didn't publish our article about Tifa Lockhart though, as it was really appreciated by both males and females. As for me, I love women of all sizes, shapes and colors, and body diversity makes the world much more interesting in my opinion. As for the SJWs, they doesn't seem to like body diversity all that much, especially not in games, as you can see by this topic of the movie and the article that I wrote. As for the part about being offended by the mere sight or thought of breasts, let me tell you what. Straight women, bisexual and lesbian women loves breast. Cats loves breast, dogs loves breast, men loves breast, yes, everyone loves breasts. So I don't understand why the SJWs fear them so much, like their, I don't know, nuclear weapons or something like that. Anyhow, this was everything that I had to say about this subject, so I hope that you guys and girls enjoyed the video. And oh, don't forget to check out the comments section for our Tifa Lockhart article, as it's full of good points and thought-worthy comments. So see you around, people. Bye bye. Well, thank you very much for watching our video, ladies and gentlemen. Tons of love to ya. Now don't you forget to click that nice subscribe button up here, so that you don't miss out on any of our new videos. And if you want to support our videos, then show us some love on Patreon. Speaking of videos, in video number 1 I talk about how Gamergate has changed the games industry. In video number 2 I talk about how the freedom of speech has died on Reddit. And in video number 3 I talk about how Kotaku and Polygon lied about the ukulele Kickstarter campaign. So with that said, take care people, adios.